Unit 1, Topic 8, Multiply Monomials. So let's go through a couple of examples on how to multiply monomials. One example I have here is negative 4 r to the fourth times negative 1 r squared. So one of the things that we have here, we have numbers and we have variables, right? We have our coefficients here and our variables here. Remember, when we're multiplying like this, we want to multiply the numbers together and then we want to multiply the variables together. So the best way I'm going to explain this to you, I think, to think of this when you're multiplying. Now remember, this does not apply if you had addition or subtraction inside of those parentheses. Then you're no longer multiplying monomials. In this case, we just have monomials. So this is the same thing as saying negative 4 times negative 1 times, or without, you don't even need that, right? We're just having the parentheses here, r to the fourth r squared. Remember, when you're multiplying, it doesn't matter what order you put it in, right? You can, the same, like 2 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 2. 2 times 3 times 4 is the same thing as 4 times 3 times 2, which is the same thing as 4 times 2 times 3, right? So that means that we can look at these in this way. That way you could just look at the numbers first, and then you'll get to the point where you don't need to split it up like this. So we know that negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. And when we're multiplying variables like this that are the same, we add their exponents. So we have r to the 4 plus 2, which is 4r to the 6th. So our final answer for this one is 4r to the 6th. All right, let's look at another example. All right, here we have negative 5 a to the fourth b to the first, or just b, all times 2a to the fourth times b. Again, we have monomials, right? Because there's no addition or subtraction inside the parentheses. So this is the same thing as saying negative 5 times 2, a to the fourth times a to the fourth, and b times b. Again, order doesn't matter with multiplication. There's no addition or subtraction in either of these parentheses. That's why we can do this. Once we have addition and subtraction, remember we have to do like the first, outer, inner, last. It's a different situation. This is just monomials. So here we have negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. A to the fourth times a to the fourth is a to the fourth plus 4. And then we have b. Remember, if there's no exponent, that's just a 1. So we have 1 plus 1, which is negative 10 a to the 8th b squared. Okay, let's go through one more example without separating it, just to look at it the way we should once we get used to it. So here we have negative 8m to the 7th times 3n to the 5th. So now what I'm going to do in my head, I'm going to say, okay, I know that negative 8 times 3 is negative 24. And then I have m to the, that's m. Those are different variables. So we can't multiply those. So then we just have m to the 7th times n to the 5th. But notice what I did is I multiplied those numbers and then I multiplied the variables. All right, let's look at one more. This one, negative 2s to the 4th times, now this says 1s to the 5th. You don't need to write that 1. It's just s to the 5th, but they're writing it there just to make sure it's really clear what your coefficient is, right? So we know then that we have negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. And then we have s to the 4th times s to the 5th. Well, s to the 4th times s to the 5th is s to the 4 plus 5, which is s to the 9th. All right? If you have any questions about how to multiply monomials, let me know.